What is going on today, guys? Hope you're doing well. And today I just wanted to talk about the theme of not every company in every market is going to be a good fit for you. And so, what do I mean by that? Well, when I had made my post about my year to date earnings for being here a year at Gemini Motor Transport, and I did a video on that already, but quick synopsis is I earned $128,000 here at Gemini Motor Transport within my first year. So you can go check that video out. I think it was my 1 year review of working at Love's or Gemini Motor Transport. But anyways, I had gotten some comments from some people when I had made that post that were from a few different states. One was from Florida, one was from Georgia, another one was from Texas. And they all said the same thing is, well, they were saying two things. The first thing they were saying was, well, it's really hard to get on with Gemini Motor Transport. I've applied several times and I never got an answer or a response to my application. And the second thing they were always saying, which is ironic, is that at the same time they were complaining about the starting wages for Gemini Motor Transport in those states. Well, here's the thing, right? Not every job and not every company is going to work for you in every market. So by market, I mean state, and a market can be a city, can be a region of states, or it can be the entire country. I understand their frustration, especially trying to get hired. It's a good place to work, and I've applied at other places that were also good to work for, and I was not hired. That's happened to me at least a dozen times throughout my working career. But I would encourage those of you who do want to work here, keep trying, keep your driving record clean, don't job hop, try to get fuel experience. If you can't get fuel experience, at least get tanker experience. Have all of your endorsements ready, your Hazmat endorsement, your tanker endorsement, or the combination of the two. And then doubles and triples if they require it in your area, and keep trying. So that's all I can say. And at the end of the day, if you can't get hired here for whatever reason, there's plenty of other good companies to work for as a fuel hauler. Sheets is great to work for. Pilot's not a bad company by any means. And again, I did a video on my experience at Pilot and why I left Pilot to come here. But there are other companies that you can work for, or not even within fuel haulings. You can still do hazmat work with different companies that are good to work for. That being said, as far as the second part of their comment, every company is going to probably more than likely pay differently based on the area that you live in, right? And that's not just Gemini, that's every company, because it depends on, number one, your field, and then the niche of that field. And then it also greatly depends on the supply and demand of that market. So, for example, in Florida, at one point over the last several years, they had 3,000 people moving to Florida from other states a month, just in 1 month. I believe that was the peak. I don't know how many specific new residents they got over the last 5-6 years, but it's been a lot. I would imagine it's probably been in the hundreds of thousands at this point, if not a million or two, because they have all those millions of people moving there. And this also applies to Georgia and Texas as well. They, meaning the companies, do not have the incentive to up the pay in regards to whatever you're starting out at, right? So in Florida, in Texas, and in Georgia, I believe the starting pay for Gemini Motor Transport, for example, is $27 an hour if you're not on weekends or if you're not on nights. And then it goes up to 28 if you're on nights or weekends, and then 29 if you're on nights and weekends. So they were complaining about that. And I get it. If I were in that scenario, I would probably not want to work for Gemini Motor Transport in that market. It may not make sense to me at that time or in that market, right? It made sense for me in a different market. I'm in Wyoming, so I'm paid significantly more because of a few different reasons. Not everybody wants to live in Wyoming and deal with the wind or deal with the lack of big city amenities that there is to offer here. However, as a result, I get paid more. The base salary here for Gemini is $34 an hour. And because I work weekends and nights, I was at $36 an hour, and I have since gotten my raise after being here a year. So I'm now at $36.51 an hour, with overtime being a time and a half, or $54.77 an hour after 40 hours. The reality is, if you want to make different money, meaning more money than most people, you have to be willing to live and or do things that people are not willing to do. So while I can understand the frustrations of trying to get on with Gemini in Florida or in Georgia or in Texas, they are paying what the market is demanding. All right. Because there's not a shortage of drivers, certainly not in those markets. There's not a shortage of people who want to live there. There is not a shortage of applicants. And as a result, there's not a high enough demand for drivers for the company to up their pay to whatever you would want it to be, right? So at the end of the day, you have to make the decision if whatever company you're trying to get into is worth it, and for your area that you're trying to live in or that you're currently living in. And if it's not, then maybe consider moving, or maybe consider looking at another company. Just don't complain about trying to get into the company at the same time as complaining about the wages, because none of the companies that are good to work for are going to pay far below what the market is demanding for the average for whatever field that you're in, right? The good companies are going to pay at the top, or at least near the top. Now, you could find some exceptions, I'm sure, but that is the general rule for most companies in most areas. And that's just how the market works. It's based off the supply of applicants and the demand for drivers. Do your research, find out if it's worth it for you. And if it is, then apply, give it your best shot, keep your driving record clean, don't job hop, and just put your best foot forward. Okay. With that being said, if you guys disagree with me, or if you found this video helpful, please put it in the comment section down below. And if you'd like to see more, please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next one. God bless.